responsibility.
Finishing this fight.
Alright, hello everyone, and welcome into the Lore Council. This is Cade, and I'm joined with who else but Keith.
Howdy, y'all.
A big Texas-sized howdy from Keith. Are there any other Texasisms you can hit us with before we start?
The get her done? No, wait, no, it's Larry the Cable Guy. Don't mess with Texas.
Alright, there we go. Texas will not be messed with in this episode. Alright, but yeah, as the title of the video implies, we are here today to talk about the comic series Dark Empire.
Yeah, the very classic, oft-mentioned, much-aligned comic.
Yeah, I would say...
Much-maligned comic. No, I don't know.
Yeah, I would say it's kind of a love it or hate it kind of thing, to be honest. I know several people who don't like this comic. I know several people who do like this comic. Yeah, I really, really enjoy this comic. It is very 1990s, I will say. It's very rooted in like the early to mid 90s kind of tropes that we see for comic books at the time, especially for very specifically Spider-Man in kind of the early mid 90s. Clones were a big thing. And they've always kind of just been a sci-fi trope in general as well.
Well, I mean, for Star Wars, the main thing of bringing up clones or whatever would be the Clone Wars.
Yeah, and I think it makes sense that like clones would be used in other like applications, I guess, in Star Wars. Like it doesn't make sense to have them just confined to the Clone Wars prequel era. So
Yeah, and it's so this came out in like 1992, right?
91 it started.
Oh, 91.
Yep.
So that's like it's 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah, literally 31 years ago.
Really? Wow.
Well, 31 years in December.
Yeah, it's amazing how well this comic holds up, just like lore-wise, like compared to Seven Legends. Like, there's a couple of discrepancies here and there, but for the most part, fits in pretty well. And yeah, the art style is definitely not like, it's like it's of its time. It's it's a 90s comic, so.
Well, I don't even think it's of its time.
Detailed.
It's also very different because, like, in the early 90s, we had superstar artists like Todd McFarlane drawing Spider-Man. And so it is a very, very different style of art, though, I will say. Cam Kennedy, the artist, it's like watercolored.
Yeah, it looks like watercoloring, yeah.
Yeah, it's very...
Everything is like just like in big, shades, like whole characters in, blue and red and...
Green, there's lots of green.
Yeah, and there's like this cool like purplish blue in the opening of the first comic book. It's very cool.
Yeah, it's very, very, very interesting. And for a little background, well, this was written by Tom Veitch, who unfortunately just passed away, I believe, last month. And
yeah, very sad. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was written. It was released in December 91 until October of 1992. So I think that would be like monthly, every other month, maybe? I don't know. Sure.
Probably.
Yeah. It also has been released into audio drama form, which is, those are actually really fun if you've never ever read those.
Oh yeah, great for road trips and long drives.
Yeah, I remember at my job 5-6 years ago, I would listen to them at work on Sundays because we were allowed to have headphones because the manager wasn't in. And yeah, they were great way to kill a couple hours. And they're fully voiced. I think they got Billy D. Williams and Anthony Daniels back, and then everyone else is just like randos.
But we're reviewing the comic, right?
Oh yeah, just the comic, but They add a couple things into the audio drama that aren't in the comic, but yeah, overall the comics are also really, really good. And this and the Thrawn Trilogy, this comic and the Thrawn Trilogy really started the big, like, 90s boom that Star Wars had again.
Right, and when this came out, the Thrawn Trilogy, the first book, Heir to the Empire, had just come out.
Yep.
So this was kind of the only other, like, thing that was, like, kind of bringing back Star Wars.
Yeah, because Heir to the Empire came out in May of 91, and then this started coming out in December of 91. Originally, they wanted the Thrawn Trilogy, I think, to tie in more with this, but Timothy Zahn said no. So they ended up having it take place after Heir to the Empire. So yeah. It's a fun little fact about
I think it worked out
the
fine,
behind the scenes.
They take place at, consecutively, basically.
I wouldn't say consecutively because because by this point Thrawn has already been defeated.
No, right, but it's like from the way they're like talking in this comic, it's like this, this is probably just after that whole crisis was wrapped.
Oh yeah. I see what you mean.
Seems like we barely had a second together, Leia.
Yeah.
Although if you read Tatooine Ghost, Han and Leia had like a whole book to be together.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really good. I really liked the art in this. It's a very like ethereal quality, and the watercolor is beautiful and it's very unique.
Yeah,
it is just straight up watercoloring, but it leaves a lot of room for your imagination.
Yeah, it really does. My only gripe with it is not a lot of the characters really look like how they do. There's a lot of artistic license taken. Yeah. Like, Han Solo does not look like Harrison Ford, and Luke literally does not look anything like Mark Hamill.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like the artist constrained himself to being photorealistic with the the depiction.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that it has to be like photorealistic, but like they don't even resemble.
Right.
Like
the most photorealistic they get portrayed as is on the covers of the comics, but then in the comic it's kind of cartoon doppelganger city. Yeah,
and I will say the covers for all of these are just really, really beautiful. They're done in a more traditional, I would say, style, a bit more realistic with the covers, and they're all really, really good. I know you said before we started recording the fourth one was your favorite cover. The first one is my favorite color, just like that picture of Luke with his green lightsaber and all the other characters there, and yeah, really, really cool.
The first one?
Yeah, the first issue has my favorite cover.
Yeah, it's the most traditional one.
Yeah, it's kind of got all the big players in there. It has C-3PO on the cover, who does like absolutely nothing in these comics.
He's there for flavor.
Yeah, he's there for flavor. But yeah, and for a little bit more background, Dark Empire was actually the first Star Wars comic that I ever read.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I believe I've mentioned that in a previous video, but I was at my friend's house, and this would have been probably in first or second grade, which still is like a long time after this comic came out, and he had the whole shebang. He had like a collected edition of the 6 issues all together in one trade paperback. And
cool.
I remember reading it, and I'm like, whoa, hold on, what's going on here? Like, this is crazy. Wow. Like, Palpatine's coming back, and I didn't even know that his name was Palpatine because I had only seen the movies. Well, I guess I knew he was Palpatine. Never mind. But yeah, no, it's it was really, really fun to read, and it really, obviously, it just jump-started my interest, and from there, he had some of the other comics, and then I got into the expanded universe from there. So this was my dip a toe in the pool.
Yeah, and definitely this and like Heir to the Empire, pretty good places to start for that kind of thing, because it's just kind of basic sort of main cast of doing wacky things, going on adventures, pretty much classic Star Wars, adventure style stuff.
Yeah, and it works really, really good for that, and it's really fun. We have all the main characters plus a ton of other side characters as well, and Yeah, I suppose to jump in, issue 1 is called The Destiny of a Jedi. And it opens up with the Han, Leia, Chewie, C3, and C3PO
Well,
on the Falcon.
each comic starts with a title crawl.
Well, yeah, it starts with a text crawl. Following the deaths of Darth Vader and the Emperor and the destruction of the second Death Star, the Rebel Alliance proclaimed a new republic. Yes. No. Sure. Over 3/4 of the galaxy, etc.
Yeah,
it starts with the text crawl, which is fun.
Yeah, classic text crawl. Looks like, Star Wars text crawl. Kind of gives you the lowdown on what's going to happen. But yeah, with the comics, so basically the title crawl basically just says Luke and Lando were on like a captured Star Destroyer, and there's fighting over the Imperial City, which is on Coruscant, and they done crash landed, and now Han and Leia and the gang and the Falcon have to rescue them.
Yeah, so pretty classic Star Wars setup.
Yeah, it really just throws you right into the middle of the action. It's very Star Wars, yep. And I really like this first panel here because it looks like the Falcon is going past like a big star, and it's just giving off this like crazy like ethereal light that you can see like reflected on the characters and everyone as they're like going past it. It's very unique, I would say.
Yeah.
I would assume that's some kind of blue star or whatever. And
well, they're in like hyperspace, and hyperspace is always kind of ethereal.
It doesn't look like hyperspace to me though, because there's.
Oh no, it doesn't. Not at all. Yeah.
And then the next shot is this like beautiful, almost like it looks just like the films. Like you see this like huge like.
The wreckage of a Star Destroyer.
Yeah, like a whole space floating junkyard of destroyed ships, and the Falcon flying right into it. It looks really good.
Yeah, we get some more.
All the ships in this look really good. Like they do a really good job.
They did a really good job. The Falcon looks good. There's a Nebulon, a couple Nebulons I think that follow in. One of them, Antari's Rebel Star, crashes into some
I always think of the radio play. Rebel Star just went up in a ball of flame.
Yeah.
They got hit.
Yeah,
I think they show the planet or something.
Yeah, they show Coruscant, which does not look anything like Coruscant because it's watercolored. It's not the Ecumenopolis.
Yep. Right.
And yeah, we get them. They fly down to the surface of the planet. And the whole time they're like having dialogues back and forth. And then we get this beautiful double-page spread of rebel troopers fighting against AT-ATs and stormtroopers, and it looks. This is one of the really, really good pages. It's one of the earlier ones. Just
there's this like giant like tank-looking thing that has like a turbo laser mounted on top of it or something. It's just destroying everything.
TIE fighters and AT-STs, AT-ATs.
There's even like, is that a crashed TIE tank, or is that just like a TIE fighter that crashed?
It could be a TIE Mauler. Maybe.
Yeah, you got some stormtroopers. For some reason they have like red circles on their heads. I guess it's just different Imperial factions fighting.
Yeah,
right?
Well, it's because not only are the rebels on Coruscant, there's like different factions of the Imperial remnant, so it's probably to like
even though in Heir to the Empire it seems like the rebels had things locked down pretty well, but I guess this shit went to crap again.
Yeah.
You get some cool shots of some AT-ATs, or as the boomers say, AT-ATs.
I'm assuming you stand on the AT-AT side of this debate.
It's an AT-AT, like everything else.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. It's not an ATST. So yeah, it's AT-AT, not AT-AT.
Right.
But yeah, we get
you
some
say
more...
A-wing, not A-wing.
A-wing. A wing.
It's an A-wing. It's an A-wing. No.
And a wing. But yeah, we get that. The Falcon destroys a AT-AT, which is a little bit goofy because the armor is supposed to be too thick for their blasters. But it's the Falcon, so it has the macho blaster.
No, you made a couple of modifications.
Oh, of course. And then we get they land down, meet up with some other rebel troopers, and then Han and Leia join the fight. Han has a blaster that doesn't look anything like his DL-44.
A lot of these pages is just some good old Star Wars porn. There, you just get some AT-ATs flying around, or I mean, walking around. You know, TIE fighters and stuff. And then in the middle of all that, there's like these like scavengers that I guess you're just scavenging scrap, and they have these like droids that they've made. Pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. It's very very Star Wars. But yeah, then we get the I think the Imperials or someone else, they release these things called necks, which are kind of like cyborg looking dog things. I think maybe the scavengers release them. Anyways, Han starts shooting him, and then we get some fun
I like
stuff.
Han's blaster in this. It's not the same as his usual
DL-44
blaster.
Yeah, very disappointing, because the DL-44 is probably the most iconic blaster from Star Wars.
Oh yeah, definitely. But it seems like they definitely nailed Han's firing stance in this. The way he would shoot before, it's perfect.
Yeah,
it's kind of little sideways like aim.
Yeah, and it looks really good.
We get to see some droid robots, attacking.
Well, some droid robots start attacking him, but then we get this shadowy figure, menacingly familiar, emerges from the ruins of the Imperial Palace. The figure gestures, a simple gesture, the gesture of a Jedi, a gesture that moves ever so slightly the internal mechanisms of the weapons droids. And of course it's Luke, and he literally just disassembles a bunch of battle droids by using the Force.
Oh yeah, super cool.
Yeah, really cool.
And they get mistaken, you could see his silhouette, it looks like Darth Vader. They do that a lot in this.
Oh yeah, Luke and Vader very often are paralleled. Like, Luke's outfit looks like Vader's, like without the chest piece and helmet. Yeah.
And then let's talk about Luke's face. He basically looks like 80s cartoon Luke. Like if there was like an 80s Star Wars cartoon show a la He-Man, this would be a Luke in that version.
Yeah, and then
and he just straight deflects a blaster bolt from an AT-AT.
Yeah, really cool.
And then he does the Star Killer, brings it down all by himself thing.
Yeah, it's really cool. And there's a little line in here that I really like, where Luke is using the Force to bring down the AT-AT. It says, remembering the words of his master, Luke presses the Force against the crippled walker. Size matters not. The only difference is in your mind. So.
Oh yeah, that was so perfect right there. It's really cool scene. You get to see Luke doing super overpowered Jedi stuff, and it's great.
Yeah, and then Luke and Han and Leia meet up, and Luke is kind of distressed. Leia asks him what's wrong, and he's like, I found bad stuff here, but everyone has to leave except for me.
Yeah, he senses this storm coming out of hyperspace.
Yeah.
And it looks like a giant like smoke worm with electricity inside it.
Yeah, and
like a giant smoke cloud that just worms its way out of the sky, and then
it's a porthole. It's a hyperspace wormhole.
Sure.
Very, very interesting. And then with rumbling chaotic fury, the storm sweeps down across the planet's surface, and Luke basically says, it's not here for you guys, it's here for me. You guys all need to leave. Like, Leia, you and your children, they're the future of the Jedi, and you have to protect them. And then, it's basically Luke goes into this portal and gets sucked up into the ether, and Han and Leia fly away.
Luke gets sucked up by the plot device, and next issue. We're gonna see you next issue.
Yeah, so next issue 2 opens.
There's a cool shot, kind of like of Luke like Superman flying into the.
Oh yeah, he's just like getting sucked up.
R2's like right next to him.
Yeah, it reminds me of like in Halo CE, the first time you go on a grav lift on Truth and Reconciliation, and Master Chief just like stares straight up.
Yeah. Oh, this needs to be a meme. It's like, all right, I'm about to hit out. You see like other like troopers being sucked up.
Yeah.
There's like half a droid here, and there's a whole freaking AT-ATs getting sucked into the portal. That's great.
Yeah.
And then, Han says, don't worry, Leia, Luke knows what he's doing, and that'll be the last time Han defends or supports Luke for the rest of this comic.
Yeah. So yeah.
Like, all right, to Pinnacle Base.
Book 2, Devastator of Worlds. Opens up above the 5th moon of Dasucha, an uncharted world in the Syax system. Yeah, and there's a rebel fleet here. We get Admiral Ackbar and...
Should we talk about the cover?
Oh, the cover? I really like this one. It's very ominous. You don't really know what's going on until you read the comic, but it's got a cool picture of Luke kind of just standing in front of a... Well, we know it's a world devastator, but otherwise it looks like this big piece of Star Wars machinery.
Yeah, it's probably my third favorite cover. It's really cool looking. Luke is basically just wearing like a Darth Vader getup minus the mask.
Yep.
This huge Sith looking machine thing, TIE fighters, very spooky.
Yeah. But yeah, it opens up with the Rebel fleet. They're above Dasucha and Admiral Ackbar. It's a trap.
Oh yeah, we get a nice little conversation between Admiral Ackbar and
Mon
Mothma.
The only other girl in the galaxy.
And of course, everything is still very much watercolored.
Oh yeah.
But it looks great.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's either love it or hate it, but I think it's really cool.
Yeah, it's really fun. And for some reason, Admiral Ackbar is like the most normal looking out of like everybody.
Yeah, he is movie accurate.
Yeah. It's a
Mon
trap.
Mothma, however, no.
Yeah, she's
No.
also just a giant floating head because she's on like a video screen.
Yeah, this comic does this thing sometimes with like characters just speaking over like video screens or comms or something where they'll just be like a little floating head, like colored red, like I guess they're looking at a screen or something.
Yeah. And basically, the Millennium
They
Falcon...
come into their own base.
Yeah. Millennium Falcon lands in a hangar, and Mon Mothma...
I like the little view of the planet where it's like these, all these high rocks and stuff, and they got these these Imperial shuttles following them.
Oh, yeah. No, that's really cool.
Yeah, these giant bat things. Yeah, cool.
Creatures called Ixels, comic says. But yeah, then Mon Mothma basically just calls an emergency meeting of the Alliance command staff, and they've received words of a great war fleet emerging from the very core of the galaxy. Someone or something has been biding its time while the feuding Imperial factions distracted our intention. And yeah, they kind of go on and on about how... It's basically like a couple pages of exposition on what the world devastators are.
Yeah, it's the classic, rebel meeting, and they got a hologram, they're all looking at it.
Yeah, basically the world devastators are these giant things, I guess. They just land on a planet and they basically extract the raw resources out of it and then use that to create more Imperial machines.
Yeah, and for some reason they just know that a dark side genius is at work, but they don't say who it is or who it might be.
Yeah, because we don't know either.
But I do like this. I think it's just like a one panel, or not one panel, like a one page thing where you see Calamari.
Yeah,
It looks beautiful. It's like this teal color with this orange, corona tinge around it. Very cool. And of course the Devastators, which just look like whoa.
Yeah,
you see like this one big one, and then you can see there's other ones in like the foreground, just to kind of make the scale.
Yeah, and yeah, also to add to scale, like they have like TIE fighters flying around them, and the TIE fighters are like tiny.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it works really well. It sets up like impending doom.
Yeah, of course. It's Star Wars. There has to be some kind of a death machine, obviously.
Yeah.
Very similar to the Starforge from KOTOR.
Yeah, they kind of are. Maybe a bit of a precursor.
Oh, and I like the Mon Cal fighters. They basically just like mini versions of the Calamari cruisers.
Yeah.
With little bubbles on them and
Turds
stuff.
with wings.
Yeah.
But yeah. This is the greatest scourge the galaxy's ever seen. Far more lethal than any Death Star. But yeah. They kind of...
little hyperbolic there.
Admiral Ackbar. Yeah.
Admiral Ackbar.
But yeah.
Not worse than the Death Star.
Yeah. But yeah, so... Ackbar assigns General Calrissian and Wedge to pilot their other captured Star Destroyer against the World Devastators.
Yeah, sure.
And then after this, Han and Leia get a little bit of alone time, and Leia's like, "Oh, something bad has happened to Luke. We have to help him." And Han's like, "Oh, honey, it's I'm not going to challenge." He literally says, "I'm not about to challenge the judgment of a Jedi."
Yeah, sorry, no. This will be the last time where Han
Defends
supports Luke.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then we see Luke. He's in a sex dungeon.
Yeah.
There's like some metal chains hanging off the wall with crap. What do you call it? Manacles? Yeah,
Manacles.
Chains and manacles. Old-fashioned sex dungeon.
Yeah. And
another beautiful illustration.
the one of all the Star Destroyers above the planet.
Oh no! After but right before that, the ship.
The ship above the planet and the moon.
Yeah, it's like square-looking ship.
Yeah,
he calls it Imperial Dungeon ship.
Well, and they mentioned that Luke can't see out because the walls are Mandalorian walls, which I think.
What does that even mean?
I think it's because they're made out of like Mandalorian iron.
Oh, so Beskar. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, they're on an Imperial dungeon ship, the kind they used to transport Jedi during the Clone Wars.
Ah, yes, all those Beskar ships the Jedi would fly. I remember them. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's a bit of that's one of the things that doesn't
it doesn't mesh
work with anything.
Yeah.
Like they never put this thing into Clone Wars or anything like that. This like weird looking ship here. So
yeah, it doesn't mesh super
break
well, but that's okay.
That's fine.
The narration tells us that this is the planet Biss, deep in the galactic core, a world entirely enveloped in the power of the dark side. And I really love. It
just kind of looks like Jupiter.
Yeah,
a little bit purple.
I really love the little thing that Luke says to R2. If there's a dark center of the universe, this is it, R2. Boop. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hold on, R2. The ship's starting to descend.
Yeah, R2's response is boop.
Boop.
Reference to him saying, if there's a bright center of the universe around the planet that it's farthest from, in reference to Tatooine.
Yeah.
Yeah, the planet looks great. All the Star Destroyers look great. There's even what looks like a Super Star Destroyer there. Some other stuff going on.
Yeah, really cool. I will say, like, the illustrations of, like, the ships in, like, the long shots, I guess you would say, look really, really great. And then, yeah, they dock on the outskirts of a luminous city, and there's some guards here that are ready to encage Luke in an energized cage.
Yeah, they look very Sithy.
Yeah, they do. I wonder why, but we'll never know. One of these people must be the dark side genius.
Yeah, the shot here is funny. Luke and R2 just getting kind of zerped into the energy cage.
Well, I think it's funny because Luke obviously is going to react in like a human way. Like he looks like he's in a human pose, and then R2 is just like stiff.
Yeah,
just like meh. But yeah. Yeah, so they say that
everything looks great here. It's it's this big kind of like wacky looking alien room thing. There's all these guards wearing big cloaks, and they got these giant weapons and stuff.
Yeah, it looks like they're like 12 feet tall.
Yeah, really tall. It's like, geez,
really creepy looking. Like they don't have faces in their helmets, just like red glowing eyes.
Oh yeah, that's super cool. Yeah, Palpy's been he's been growing them big.
Who?
Oh, the Emperor.
Who? Yeah, we don't know who that is yet. The dark side.
We do know.
The dark side genius has been growing these guys. What are you talking about?
Okay, we can talk about things before they're revealed in the comic.
But it's only 2 pages. But yeah, basically Luke gets escorted in, and there's a really good scene where some guards are trying to strong arm him, and he says, "Don't threaten me. I'm here because I choose to be here." And then he kind of marches off, and the people say to each other, "Amusing, keep him covered, but don't hurt him. Let it be his free choice if that's what he wants to believe, but he's walking to his doom." And then he walks in, and there's a very familiar-looking chair overlooking a world devastator. Excellent, excellent. You've come to me of your own free will. And oh my god, it's Emperor Palpatine!
Yep, old Palps himself.
Yeah, and I really like it.
And, he's actually the most photorealistic character in the whole fucking comic.
Yeah, he also looks pretty good.
He just pretty much looks exactly like the Emperor in Episode 6. It's very wrinkled and creepy looking. The smile is perfect.
Yeah, looks really good. But yeah, they basically have a little back and forth about how, he tells Luke.
Does he say the dark side of the Force is a path to many abilities?
He does not.
Oh, okay. 0 out of 10.
0 out of 10. No lame
Worst comic
prequel reference. But yeah, it's basically he tells Luke, he's like, well, your father died, and it's your destiny to succeed your father. And yeah, and Luke kind of goes through. He has R2 give him his lightsaber that looks nothing at all like his lightsaber from Episode 6.
Yeah, I think they designed it right on one of the covers, but they're like,
yeah, on all the covers, but the cover artist and the regular artist must be different because but yeah, Luke basically has like this little internal conflict, and it basically says that he has to challenge the dark side from within. He must penetrate the power of the dark side, and he must learn its secrets. And he kneels before the Emperor and says, "Yes, my father's destiny is my own." And then R2 says, "We bedeep?"
Really cool shot. You can just see like the silhouette of the Emperor and Luke like kneeling before him, and in the background you just see this world devastator like sucking up all this stuff, and it's all just like outlined in like watercolor. It's very pretty.
Yeah, essentially what it is like it's what would have happened in Episode 6 if Luke fell to the dark side. Like he's kneeling. He's kneeling
minus Vader.
Yeah, minus Vader. Yeah. Well, R2 obviously stands in for Vader.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Yeah, but yeah, and then this comic ends with
But yeah, so basically Luke is like joining the dark side in order to defeat it, is what his logic is.
Yeah, defeat it from within. And then yeah, the comic shifts over to Han and Leia. Leia basically says, Han, I shouldn't have listened to you. I should have listened to Luke. Or I shouldn't have listened to Luke. I hear terrible laughter. Something awful has happened. Just happened, Han. We've lost him. And then,
Han says, I've got a bad feeling about this.
He says the thing. And then they fly off.
They told me marriage to a Jedi princess wasn't going to be easy.
They were right.
They were right.
Chewie, when you finish fixing the flux stabilizer, fuel up the Falcon. We've got a date with the dark side.
Yep.
And
yeah, this final beautiful shot of this like the rebel base where they're all, they got these like pink rocks that are like just like going up. There's a little yellow sun, very pretty, and I like what the comic does, where it focuses on like Luke's stuff with like his little journey with the dark side and with the Emperor, and then Han and Leia are kind of just put together and doing their own thing.
Yeah, it kind of splits them up like in Episode 5, where it's Luke and R2, and then Han and Leia and Chewie.
Yeah, but it doesn't feel too much like that. It's kind of, well, like later on, it feels sort of different. Like like Luke is kind of like he sort of becomes the focus of the story. Like,
yeah,
oh, Luke is the commander of the Emperor's forces. Oh no, without a Jedi, we won't be able to do anything.
Of course.
Like, because there's all these little, at least in the original comics, there are all these little lore blurbs at the end where they just like explain all this stuff. And they said the main reason the Republic fell is because the Jedi Knights. Oh no, wait, no. Or no, the reason the Rebellion is failing is because they don't have the many Jedi Knights. They're the New Republic.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry about that poorly worded tangent.
But yeah, that leads us to issue 3, The Battle for Calamari, which it's very goofy that they only ever call this the planet Calamari. They don't call it Mon Calamari, because The Battle for Calamari sounds like a sitcom episode.
Right, yeah. It's supposed to be Mon Calamari,
or Dak, yeah. But yeah, they only ever call it Calamari, which, I mean, it obviously, the planet Mon Calamari, it's already a play on like, calamari, like the food, which is are you a fan of calamari? I love calamari.
I've never tried it.
Oh, it's really good. It's fried squid. Really good. Do you like shrimp?
I do like shrimp, yeah.
You probably like calamari. But would you battle for calamari?
I don't. I remember reading something that like squid and octopus are like as smart as a dog or something. Maybe it's just octopi.
Octopi? Maybe. I don't know. I love sushi and sashimi, so.
I do like sushi. Yeah, I just never like to try the squid.
Oh, it's delicious. Anyways, yeah, the battle for Calamari. This one opens up with General Calrissian, the coolest guy in the entire galaxy. And yeah,
the world devastators are just sucking up everything, just making more, destructive things.
Yeah, and they kind of
get some more beautiful shots of the Star Destroyers and Rebel ships. And everything just looks awesome, like really nice. Like they go for this like real, like kind of like photorealistic while being kind of not detailed at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're kind of going through, trying to get to the planet, and eventually they kind of close in on the planet. And we get some cool-looking shots of the Mon Calamari fighting against the World Devastator, and one of them is saying that Admiral Ackbar, he has not abandoned us, he's called down the whole Alliance on their heads. And Yeah, they keep...
Yeah, it basically just turns into like an action comic. There's just lots of action, and it's like every panel just has so much going on. It's great.
Oh, yeah, and we get the scene of some X-Wings, fighting against the World Devastators, and they think they're pulling back, but then they're actually releasing fully robotic TIE fighters roll off of the
otherwise known as droid fighters.
Yeah.
Seems like a missed opportunity there. Yeah, I do not like the design of these robotic TIEs. They look like those magnetic Pokemon. I don't know what they're called.
Yeah,
Magnetite or Magnite or something.
Sure.
It looks really bad because they don't detail the little side wings enough.
Yeah.
So it looks like it just looks like flat sheets of metal that they got on the sides. It's really weird. Do not like that. It looks dumb.
Yeah, and then we get a scene where one of the Devastators starts flying towards the Star Destroyer that Lando's...
It just starts eating up and like destroying the Star Destroyer, like whole Star Destroyer.
Yeah, which I mean is like crazy because like in the movies, like Star Destroyers are like the be all end all of like starships.
Yeah, this thing eats Star Destroyers for breakfast.
Yeah,
you see like breaking up in the inside of like the little mouth thing.
Yeah, and then we get a little blurb from Lando at the end that things haven't been this bad for the Alliance since Vader was alive. And then we cut to the next page where it's Leia having a little trippy vision. At that very moment, at Pinnacle Base, Rebel Command Post on the 5th moon of Glasucha, Princess Leia receives an unexpected visitation, a vision of the past. And it's has Leia kind of standing in front of Vader, and she asks, Father, is that you? And Vader says, no, your father is free with all the Jedi who went before, and Darth Vader lives no more. My... sister? Oh my god, and it's Luke, and he looks emo.
It's kind of creepy shot where it's like, because at first it looks like Vader, and then it's like revealed to be Luke, but in the first little reveal, it's like Luke's face inside of Vader's helmet.
Yeah.
Which looks a little goofy in his face. But then in the next panel, it's just Luke with like a little kind of Darth Vader silhouette. Again, more watercolor, but beautiful. And he's like, yeah, I gotta do dark side stuff to save everyone. And then Leia just collapses.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because the Emperor, I guess he kind of joins in on the connection. He's like, your brother is lost. And then Leia just faints.
Yeah. And then, then from there we get Han Solo, who's unaware of his wife's distress. They start instructing, he's trying to instruct like new recruits, or they're going to be flying E-Wings, which are disgusting looking.
Well, specifically these guys are learning to fly this Imperial
E-Wing
fighter in the front here. That's not an E-Wing.
Yeah, it is.
See the one in front? And then see the one behind it? That's an E-Wing.
Oh, the one behind it
the one
is
in front
an
is different.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're right. E-Wings are still ugly, though.
Yeah, the E-Wing, which is featured a lot in this comic, it's all right. It's basically a TIE fighter with the top two wings removed, so it only has those little bottom wings.
Yeah, it's basically... It
looks okay. Sorry, did I say TIE fighter? I meant X-Wing.
X-Wing, yeah. Yeah, it's like, this comic was definitely trying to set up the E-Wing as like the coolest, newest thing, and it just doesn't take off in the EU after this at all.
It doesn't look terrible, but definitely the newer ship designs they do in this aren't really the best.
No, yeah, that Imperial ship is ugly, and then the E-Wing is also kind of ugly, and then him and I think that's Mon Mothma. Is it that Han
Yes.
talks to? It is
Probably.
Anyways,
Yes, that is, yeah.
Han.
She's wearing a very big coat.
Yeah. Hard to tell. She's not wearing her traditional all white everything. But yeah,
they're like, we gotta get Luke back.
Yeah, and then
Luke is the key. He's the key to all this.
Yeah,
Here's a map.
Yeah, he gets brought back. He gets brought to Leia, and Leia's like, "Hey, we gotta go get Luke." And yeah, then we essentially have the Millennium Falcon leaves for Nal Hutta, because they're going to go from there to figure out how to get to Luke, I believe, and then...
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because they're trying to get to Biss, which is located in the deep galactic core, and for some reason the Falcon can't go there.
Yeah.
And, we get a nice, juicy Nal Hutta lore drop.
Yeah, Nal Hutta, a name that means glorious jewel in Huttese, is one of the systems to which the Hutts migrated in the great numbers over the centuries. It's also the birthplace of Jabba the Hutt, Nal Hutta's great spaceport moon Nar Shaddaa.
You're gonna read all the panels? I mean,
well, just that one.
I like the little. Yeah, I guess, is this like the first time Nar Shaddaa is like brought up or mentioned or anything?
Yeah.
I like how in the radio play they kind of have some like lore dropped with Nar Shaddaa, but it's like it's just like the Navi computer giving them like just like basic info. And it's like Han's like, oh, that stupid thing. It's playing the basic, planet info or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, and then right after that we get a shot of like a junked out fire spray just floating in space. It's really cool above the city.
Yeah. Foreshadowing.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Maybe.
Wow, I didn't even... Yeah, because, yeah.
Yeah, there definitely couldn't be another major character that would return in this series. That'd be ridiculous.
You see the whole city, see all these things flying around. Really cool.
Yeah, looks really, really good. Yeah, we get...
And, of course, actually, in the next panel, we see... Well, I guess we don't know it yet, but it's the Slave 2 right there in the middle of the panel. Or the page.
Yeah, but that would be ridiculous. Who would be flying a ship named that? But yeah, so we get, basically, obviously, Han being there is crazy because every bounty hunter in the galaxy is looking for them, and the Hutts, after Jabba died, quadrupled the price, dead or alive. But yeah, we get a couple really fun shots of Han, like, flying through, like, the city and escaping from everyone.
It feels very Star Wars. You see the whole cruise in the cockpit of the Falcon doing flying, and then, they have to escape by going through, like, a secret hologram or, like, an advertisement thing.
Yeah.
And it's a secret entrance.
But yeah, and then eventually they escape from the bounty hunters, they land, and then Han is greeted by people that he has known for, like, forever, but obviously we have never, ever met.
Yeah, the comic doesn't say much. They tell you some more in the back of the book. The guy Shug Ninks is apparently, like, the guy who kind of trained Han and Lando how to do a lot of their smuggling stuff. He's a half-human, half-Thelan. And I also learned that the Thelans were this alien race that lived on Nal Hutta before the Hutts, but then they got kicked to Nar Shaddaa. Kind of interesting.
Very cool.
And Han's ex-girlfriend.
How awkward. But yeah, we meet up with them, and then we also, as they are going back to where Han used to live, they run into God, what is her name? Vima
Daboda.
Vima Daboda.
Yeah, and that page, I really like that page because it just shows Han and Leia just going through this, grungy,
cesspit.
Everyone's in armor, and it's all like rusted and gross looking. There's just like Hutts chilling out and stuff, bounty droids.
Yeah, and then we get
Cool stuff.
they run into Vima, who recognizes Leia as a Jedi.
She's like a gross like beggar lady, and she's like, "Yeah, Vima can see you have the Force."
Yeah. Daughter of the Force, can you forgive Vima for her crimes? And it's like, who? Who are you? And yeah, we basically get... yeah, she gives Leia a box, which we don't know what's in there. But yeah, they show up to Han's old bachelor pad, and he runs into his old droid, ZZ. And there's a Mr. Fett to see you, sir. Mr. Fett
yeah,
to
it's
see
great.
you, sir. Mr.
Yeah,
Fett
his
to
little
see you,
old-
sir.
Yeah, his little old droid is there, and it's like kind of malfunctioning a bit. Mr. Solo, Mr. Fett to see you. And it's very kind of, very creepy and stuff. And Han's like, Mr. Who? What? And then next issue, Boba Fett's Revenge.
Yeah. Oh, literally, yeah. That's issue 4. If they were trying to...
So they don't even show Boba Fett. They're just like, they just have that little thing with the droid,
Yeah.
and then Boba Fett's back.
Yeah, classic comic book cliffhanger. On the front cover, however, spoils that Boba Fett's coming back, because it's him, IG-88, and...
Is it? Or would that be...
well, IG whatever.
Isn't this issue number...
Issue 4.
This is issue 4?
Yeah, we just did
We're already
3.
on issue 4?
Yeah.
Oh, we're running through these things.
Yeah, son. But
No,
yeah.
wait, I'm pretty sure that was issue 3.
Yeah, that was issue... No, that's issue 4. Issue 3 has Spooky Vision, Luke, and Leia. And then issue 4 has Han, Leia, Boba Fett, Dengar, and IG-88.
Because at the beginning of issue 4, we see Boba Fett. He says, "Greetings, Solo."
Greetings, Solo.
Okay, so then we just did issue 3.
Yeah, we just did issue 3, yeah.
Okay, good. We agreed.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, if you've ever seen the radio play, Boba Fett has like this weird robotic voice. Because obviously no one knows what he sounds like. We didn't know that he was from New Zealand until,
Yeah.
what,
There's
2003?
like, he's in a helmet. Just give him a robot voice.
Yeah. And then
Yeah,
we
we
get
see
to...
Boba Fett, and he looks really cool. He's got this he's kind of like a rusty bluish color, and his
Yeah.
armor looks like it's all
Pitted.
like like the paint's all chipped, like it's
Yeah.
been burned from acid.
Yeah, and we get to... He, like, does not waste time. He does not go into some big... There's no flashbacks, like in Book of Boba Fett, but, the Sarlacc found me somewhat indigestible, Solo.
A big shocker. Everyone's like, "You're dead." But no, of course. So they're totally caught, right? The bad guys have them like with guns on them and everything, and then like next page they just run away from them.
Yeah, they
Run
run
while
away.
shooting.
Yeah. Han even has his weird, like, shooting pose while he's running.
Yeah, it looks really good. Like,
Yeah.
it may not be realistic, but it looks cool. And you
Yeah.
they're able to run like just like like a freaking like 10 feet a second. They're just like, whoa.
Yeah. And they start running, and then, they're taking some cover, and I think they shoot... Boba Fett shoots one of his wrist rockets, and it hits a Hutt crime boss who, in the words of the comic, uttering an ugly cry of fear, the Hutt catapults into the abyss.
Yeah, a little bit of kind of comedy horror there. Where, the Hutt's on like a floater, and it just gets shot and plummets to its death.
Yeah.
Should have had if that were like in the movie, would have had like a Wilhelm scream.
Oh.
A Hutt Wilhelm scream.
Yeah. But yeah, and then they Han and Leia are able to get out of there, and
Yeah, it looks like they're riding a magic carpet.
yeah, like the Silver Surfer's like surfboard.
Oh yeah.
And they get out of there, and they find the Falcon that is attached itself Episode 5 style on the back of a ship.
Yeah, the Starlight Intruder, and they just catch a ride, and Boba Fett chases him in his new ship, the Slave 2, which looks nowhere near as cool as Slave 1, but it looks kind of cool.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's kind of a unique design. It has a weird triangle for some reason.
Right, yeah, triangle fin wing thing.
Yeah, which seems like it would
But
just
it's fun.
make it harder to fly, but they are able to escape. And then Leia opens the box she got from earlier, and oh my god, it's a lightsaber.
Whoa.
Which then I believe actually is out of continuity. Leia, I believe, didn't get her first lightsaber, I believe, until the Corellian Trilogy, which is a trilogy of novels that comes up later. But yeah, so they kind of ignored that because Leia's lightsaber is kind of irrelevant after this. So that's okay.
But we do get a beautiful panel of like Luke's hand like reaching out into space, and all these like Star Destroyers and ships kind of just like, you know, like flying out of it, and it's all watercolor, and it's really
yeah, it looks
very
really
just cool looking.
Yeah,
I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah, because Leia gets that. It's Leia. Leia sees that in a vision, like when she grips the lightsaber.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And they always, whenever they show like Luke in his like dark side form, they like highlight his eyes.
Yeah, they kind of do it like in
way.
green.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that's supposed to signify.
Well, I think it's just because like
sees all.
Oh, I think it's just because like it's a way for them to do like Sith eyes.
Oh
Maybe.
yeah, sure.
Yeah. But yeah, and then we cut back to Lando, whose Star Destroyer is still getting eaten by the World Devastator,
Yeah.
and they
In the middle of getting eaten like a ham sandwich.
Yeah, eaten like my B-dubs for lunch today.
And they're like, yeah, time to evacuate. Time to abandon ship.
Abandon ship.
Damn it. Fucked it up. And then we get some more great shots of the super cool E-Wings.
Yeah, the E-Wings. They're definitely going to catch on, guys. Let's keep plugging them. But yeah, they show up. They kind of start wrecking TIE fighters and stuff, and then
Lots more Star Wars porn.
Yeah, looks really, really good. And then, did they take down one of the Devastators?
I don't think so.
No.
But there's a part where like they're showing like the inside of one of the Devastators with like the Imperials, and one of there's like an engineer or something, but he looks like the Imperial engineers from the Death Star in Episode 4. It's like they never showed those helmets again after that.
Yeah. Okay. Oh no, they their World Devastator shut down by somebody.
Oh yeah, the master control signal is locked.
Yeah.
And then that baby just crashes into the dirt.
Yeah, but then the funny thing is, they think that the Wedge initially thinks that it's the E-Wings. Gotta plug those E-Wings. They found the Devastator's weak spot, and then Lando says, "No, you idiot, you dummy. That Devastator self-destructed. Whoever's in charge of those monsters is an idiot. You'd almost think he wants to lose, but of course we know that Luke is in charge of the World
winking
Devastators.
hard at the reader.
Yeah. Yeah, then we get
cut to Biss.
Cut to Biss. Another beautiful shot of Jupiter with Star Destroyers in orbit.
Yeah, it's just like the whole freaking planet is just surrounded by Star Destroyers and stuff.
Yeah, looks really, really good.
Yeah, we see the Starlight Intruder being chased by Slave 2. And another just a really cool kind of thing where, like, I guess they just have a whole shield around the planet, the Imperials. And they notice that the Starlight Intruder is an authorized freighter, and it's going in the planet, so they open the shield for it, but then they notice Boba Fett following, so they close the shield so fast that they're able to like cut off Boba Fett, and his ship just smashes against the shield. Yeah. Very cool stuff. Did it before Rogue One.
Yeah. Yeah, then we basically get the everyone is permitted to land, and the Falcon takes off on its own. Oh.
I like as Boba Fett's ship is like, flying off. Dengar is like calling him an idiot, and like they're like arguing and stuff. They're like, yeah, Team Rocket's blasting off again.
Yeah. Yeah, we basically then get the Starlight Intruder takes off on its own, and then the Falcon takes off on its own, and they land. And they land in a Imperial hangar, and
Rey basically uses her Jedi powers to locate Luke.
Yeah. Then we get that, and yeah, they land, they're fighting, and then I think.
Yeah, do you think we could maybe go like, we could probably go like broad strokes?
Yeah,
here?
Chewie ends up taking off, and then Luke appears in vision form again, and this is where Leia realizes that the Emperor is still alive. And yeah, they're brought before Luke, and this is where
everyone shows up, big confrontation time. Han's like, "You're evil now, Luke, and I hate you."
Yeah, it looks like being a Jedi was too much for you, and Luke literally, "Be quiet, Han. There are things far beyond the mind and powers of a space pirate, things you'll never understand." And gives him the business.
Yeah, Leia pulls out her new lightsaber and is like flashing it around. Palpatine's like, no more of that, and just blows it up in her hand.
Oh yeah, like she.
So that's what happens to that.
But really, such an old lightsaber is not a worthy weapon for you. And then he just literally blows it up. And Luke is also missing his hand because it's getting upgraded.
Yes, it's very creepy how he says that and how he looks there.
Yeah.
But basically, yeah, Luke is like, everyone meets up. Luke with the Emperor and Luke, and of course Han does the traditional Han thing. Is like, "You're a jerk, Luke, and you suck. I'm gonna punch you." And everyone's like, "Oh, this is, I don't know." And Leia's like, "No, Luke, don't be evil." And but the comic ends very cool when Luke just grabs Han by the throat, and he's just like, You may, I might," because Han says he's gonna kill him, and he's like, "You might be right, Han. I might have to die, but it won't be you." Dun dun dun.
Yeah, it's really cool. Palpatine also blasts Leia with Force lightning.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She asks Luke for help, but Luke's like, "Nah."
Yeah, Luke's like, "Nah, I'm gonna choke your husband."
He is just going full into it. He's really just getting absorbed in the role.
Yeah, well, it's a very Vader thing as well. Like it's kind of like in Episode 4, how Vader picks up the rebel captain by the throat and just like holds him up.
Oh yeah, definitely. I didn't think of that, but yeah.
Yeah, and then we get Book 5, Emperor Reborn.
Yes, and one of my favorite covers. Super cool looking cover. We see clone Palpatine.
He's Palpatine.
He's like broken out of like a clone tube thing, and he's got all this like gooey clone gunk on him and stuff.
There's also probe droids for some reason.
Yeah, probe droids kind of floating in the background. But yeah, cool, good stuff.
Yeah, really cool. It opens up with Sala and the squad of them. Oh yeah, no, there are like giant probe droids in this. I forget.
Oh yeah, because those aren't probe droids. They're these things. They're hunter killer droids.
That's right. That's
like these mega giant droid things that are scary.
Yeah.
But they do also have just regular probe droids floating around there.
Yeah, and we get because it must be
in like a bar or something.
Yeah. Well, they're in a bar, and then they get onto the Falcon. So it must be Sala is flying the Falcon.
I have no idea.
Anyway, someone's flying the Falcon, and then we get the real meat of the story where Palpatine and Leia meet up, and they're both kind of going on, and then Palpatine whips out the holocron.
Yeah, Palpatine's trying to get Leia like to turn to the dark side, so he's like, "Well, ooh, I'll show her my holocron. That'll do it. Jedis like holocrons, right?"
Yeah, Jedi love holocron.
And yeah, we get like a little blurb from
Boba Boss.
From Crawfish Jedi.
Yeah. And yeah, he basically about how Boba Boss says that other Jedi have tried to defeat the dark side by learning its secret. And then Palpatine calls himself Master of all the Jedi, which I guess is kind of, sort of, halfway true. I don't think the word Sith was really a thing yet, so
yeah, mostly dark side
and Jedi, and yeah, and then is this where we get
so I like how so Palpatine's kind of just lying on his like deathbed, I guess, because he's dying or something. He's like, "I am going to enter a clone," and then he's like, "I can enter your child, your unborn child." And he just gets pissed and just like flips over the bed that he's on and just runs out of the room
with the holocron.
Really funny. Yeah, of course, and she takes the holocron, and there's no guards at the door, of course, to stop her. So she just gets out scot-free, and that is that.
Yeah, and
Probably the one just a little dumb kind of plot convenient thing the
yeah,
comic
it's
does.
just for Leia to get the holocron, and then we have Luke sitting in the chair in a very evil pose, getting his new robotic hand worked on. And then Leia comes in
Some
and
Imperial
confronts him.
tells him, "Oh, sir, we've just lost another 3 Devastators." And he's like, yes, tell the Emperor. Or no, don't tell the Emperor. Don't tell anybody.
Yeah, he said, have you informed the Emperor? Then why don't you keep this information to yourself, Captain, and if anyone else knows, send them to me at once.
Yeah, Luke thinks he's being
dismisses
very
him.
clever and destroying... Well, it's basically like, Luke is like, kind of like, underhandedly destroying the Emperor's stuff, but at the same time the Emperor knows, but doesn't care, because he's trying to, like, seduce him to the dark side. But he doesn't know Luke's ultimate plan, which is to, like... very dumb plot kind of MacGuffin thing. I have the master control codes for all the Devastators. It's in R2. Here, get out of here. Just run, escape, go. No one will follow you.
Yeah.
Because Leia meets up with Luke and he's just like, here, take all the codes and stuff. There you go, you win.
Yeah, he's basically like, oh yeah, we're definitely going to leave together. Totally going to leave. And then they start getting out of there and they kind of move along. They basically jump to light speed, and then Luke is basically like, haha, I was on Biss the whole time. This is a force projection.
Yeah, another first for the Dark Empire comic then. More things that get copied later. But yeah, first time we see a Jedi doppelganger thing.
Yeah,
Jedi Force thing.
Yeah, we basically
we forgot to mention. Oh no, wait, no, we haven't gotten there yet. No, yeah, I really do like the art of when he's like, he's suddenly becoming more like a Force ghost. He gets all blue, and then he just like disappears into watercolorness. And then we get the great scene where like Luke shows up to like kill the Emperor and all his clones and stuff.
Yeah, he shows up and he's like, because Palpatine's like, oh, how did you get in here? The clone lab is sealed. My moment of transference is close. And Luke just says, I've come here to prevent that transition. And then...
of course, as soon as Luke is like ready to take on the Emperor, there's no guards around. All those guards and people we saw before, they are nowhere to be found.
Yeah, and then we get, I'm not sure if he kills Luke, or if Luke kills Palpatine, or if Palpatine just dies, but he just like basically...
No, Palpatine says very well, then I must die, because Luke's about to like kill all his clones and stuff, and yeah, he basically just like, it seems like he just blows himself up.
Okay,
really
that's
funny.
Okay. Yeah, and then Luke destroys all his clones, all except one.
And it gives this really creepy look when it gets up too.
Yeah, he's just like looking at him.
Too late.
Yeah, too late, Skywalker. And we get naked, no balls, no dick Palpatine, who very conveniently has lightsabers on the wall.
Yeah, because it's his little private study, his little collection of stuff. And we get lots of awesome, naked, yellow, spotty Palpatine action.
Yeah, we get that, and...
They do a little duel with lightsabers and stuff.
Yeah, and then Palpatine disarms Luke, and he says, it's time to submit to the dark side. The dark side will break you. Now get up, we're going to find your sister. I want my holocron, and I want your sister's child. I'm going to crush the rebellion once and for all. And that's how that one ends. It has a big climax, which leads us into...
And for anyone getting confused about Leia's child, this is her third child.
Yeah,
she's already had
to the twins
at this point.
Yeah, in the Thrawn Trilogy. She has Jason and Jaina.
This child will be... What's his name again?
Anakin.
Oh, Anakin Jr., that's right, yeah. Or whatever.
Yeah, well, just Anakin Solo.
Well, he was going to be Han Solo Jr.
Han Solo Jr.
But, time for Le Finale.
Yeah, Le Finale. The ultimate issue. Book 6, The Fate of a Galaxy. We get a big opening page. Chewie's getting the codes out of R2, and Calamari's still under siege from the World Devastators, and there are like literal like boats driving up to try and destroy it. They're gonna board it.
I feel like this comic can be summed up pretty simply.
Yeah, it's basically like the Alliance versus the World Devastators.
And the main gang flies in, and they're like, activate the MacGuffin codes. And
the Devastators get turned off.
Phantom Menace, all the Devastators just get shut off and blow up and stuff.
Yeah, and then after that...
Yeah, big fireworks, and then...
Yeah, big fireworks, and then Leia has a discussion with the Holocron. And yeah, it basically name drops, I believe, a couple things from the Tales of the Jedi comics that would come out later. This kind of laid the groundworks for that.
Yeah. I love the way the hologram for the Holocron looks. It's like green yellow, and it's like, again, watercolor. It's really beautiful.
Yeah, it looks really, really cool. And for some reason,
of course,
there's a prophecy. And, yeah.
This is not the prophecy of the chosen one. This is like a prophecy referring to like the Skywalker siblings, kind of.
A brother and sister born to walk the sky, but reckless brother falls into Darkseid's eye. Jedi sister carries hope for future in her womb. Only she can save the Skywalkers from certain doom. A Jedi killer wants to claim her.
Rhyme.
Yeah. Now the Darkseid Lord comes to claim her.
You're getting a little too hokey there.
She must battle join against this thief, or the destinies of all the Jedi will come to grief. But yeah,
it seems like they worded that just so it would rhyme, because it should have been, she must join battle.
Yeah.
I do like the next page, which
shows
the
Eclipse, baby.
Huge, wide, super ultra wide Star Destroyer. Wow, it's huge.
Yeah.
It is big. It takes up the whole page, and even then, it still can't fit onto the whole page.
And then
and
Palpatine.
Yeah, basically Leia just goes on to the Star Destroyer to save Luke and stuff, and basically Luke and Leia defeat Palpatine with the power of friendship.
Yeah, first Luke and Leia duel kind of a la Episode 6, and then Luke basically says, "No, I'm gonna listen to Leia now," and then they fight again. Through the power of the Force, you will die. And then Palpatine and Luke fight, and Luke disarms Palpatine. It's kind of a cool little reversal, because Luke has switched out his green crystal for a red crystal, so it's kind of Luke using a red lightsaber against Palpatine's blue, which is kind of cool, because Palpatine's using like a captured Jedi's lightsaber, so that's kind of cool.
Palpatine looks like a vampire in this.
He has like a
cape. Yeah, he's got like slick back hair.
Slick back hair.
Looks like Dracula.
Yeah, the cape has like the big collar on it.
He gets a little Flash Gordon-y here. Curse you, Skywalkers.
Yeah,
I do like how he calls Darth Vader a sick man in an iron mask.
Yeah, that was really cool.
But wait, there's no iron in Star Wars, you fool!
Yeah, it's a pretty raw line though.
Yeah. It basically says the mask inspired terror, but the feeble heart within was forever possessed by the impotent side of the Force. I've never heard of that side of the Force. Yeah. The impotent side, huh?
But yeah, we get the little fight, and then Luke cuts off Palpatine's hand. Palpatine summons up a Force Storm, and then...
he starts using the Force Storm to like destroy the rebels and stuff. Who needs a Death Star? I am the Death Star.
Yeah, and then basically...
Where was all this power before, Palpatine?
Well, he says in the first issue that he's gotten stronger since they've last seen Palpatine, so...
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Hand waving, sure.
Yeah, and then... Luke and Leia work together, and they cut Palpatine's, like... essentially control of the Force Storm off, and it destroys the Super Star Destroyer and himself as well.
Yeah, they both get like super zen, and they're like they cut him off from his dark side power by just flooding him with like light side energy, I guess. Yeah. And he just can't take it, and he blows up, and the whole ship blows up.
Yeah,
really. Or like the Force Storm, he loses control of the Force Storm, and it like redirects to the Star Destroyer, and it just starts eating it up.
Yeah. Then we get a couple nice little shots. It kind of reminds me of like the ending of Empire, where Luke and Leia are standing on the bridge of a ship, and they see like Palpatine like getting destroyed.
Oh, I was kind of thinking of the Executor sort of falling into the Death Star.
Oh yeah,
or
that
the
too.
Executor.
Yeah.
All we need is some fireworks and stuff.
Yeah, and some yub nub.
Yub nub.
Each up a yub
Yeah, and
nub.
yeah, the comic ends on a great note. Evil is defeated, and Luke's like, the Jedi Knights will rise again.
Yeah. And that is
Still
it.
looks like 80s Flash Gordon Luke, though.
Yeah, still does not look super
But,
good.
yeah, great ending.
Yeah, great ending. It definitely didn't set up a sequel, but obviously we got a sequel.
Right, yeah. But that's not a... But that's a lore theory.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that is the
Tune in next time for the exciting conclusion of...
Dark Empire. But yeah, really, really fun comic. If you haven't given it a read, go ahead and do it. Yeah, definitely one of the kind of seminal Star Wars stories that helped to kick off the expanded universe, so...
Yeah, I wouldn't really call it like an essential read for someone to read. Like, this is definitely a story you could kind of skip.
Sure.
But it's definitely worth the time to read. Like, you don't feel like it was a waste of your time after reading it. You're like, that was good. That's a good little, good Star Wars story. It's very fun. It's entertaining. What more do you want from a comic?
Plus, it's only 6 issues long.
Yeah, you can read it in an afternoon.
Yeah. Really, really fun. I got the whole Dark Empire collection on the Kindle app for like $10. That comes with Dark Empire 1. Spoiler alert, there's a Dark Empire 2. And Empire's End, which wraps up the whole trilogy, for like $10. Otherwise, there's readcomics.org. I'm sure at your local comic shop you can probably find the back issues. I got physical copies of all 6 issues for like $15 on eBay. So, yeah, it's out there. It's readily available. If you haven't read it, go ahead and read it.
Yeah, and it's kind of just an interesting little comic there. It's not really like my favorite comic or like my go-to Star Wars comic.
Yeah, it's
but after rereading it for this like review, I definitely appreciate it more, just mainly for the art, because it's so different from a lot of Star Wars comics.
Oh, yeah, definitely, for sure.
Like, even from other stuff of this era, like, Tales of the Jedi and all that, like, it does not
Tales
look
of the,
like
Tales of the Jedi didn't come out for another, like, 3 or 4 years, I think.
Oh, like the 90s Star Wars comics.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's definitely unique there, so that definitely helps. Like, it's not like your standard Legends comic where it's pretty photorealistic. Like, no, it's very artistic and pretty. Yeah.
Yeah, it does look really, really good.
The story, it's kind of just simple plot. Palpatine's back. Luke has to pretend to be a dark side guy to get at him. Han and Leia kind of run around and do stuff and beat the bad guy with MacGuffin stuff.
Yeah, it is definitely a comic that's rooted in its time. It's a very 1990s Star Wars story, but it is really, really fun to read. And if you haven't read it, I would definitely go back and read it.
Oh yeah,
yeah, for sure. Anything else you'd like to add in before we head out for the review of Dark Empire?
No, we'll just thank you to everyone who's recently subscribed, and thank you for all your great comments and all that, and hopefully we can continue to put out some great content.
Yeah. Spoiler alert: we are planning to do the sequels to this. And get this whole...
You're doing a spoiler alert for our own videos?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But yeah, spoiler alert, yeah, we're doing Dark Empire 2 and Empire's End in the near future. And yeah, we have lots of other great content lined up as well. We also have a Discord that's down in the description.
The far-off year of 2002.
Yeah, 2000 and, yeah. Yeah, we also have a Discord set up, so give that a join in, and you'll get basically first dibs on whenever anything is uploaded, and you'll be able to communicate with your boys directly. Otherwise, leave a comment if you've enjoyed this, and like and subscribe to the video. It helps to go a long way as we're growing the channel. And with that, this has been Cade from the Lore Council signing off.
This is Keith. We will see y'all later.